In this video, I'm going to demonstrate a workflow that you can use to promote your products, services, and content to the top of Google search results and also in LLM output. It is based on visualizing the current search intent as a knowledge graph, so you can get a high-level overview of what's happening in people's heads when they search for your product first. Then you visualize the current search results, so you get an idea of the current informational supply, and that also tells you which topics you should cover to have high topical authority. And then what you do is that you overlap the two graphs and you see what people are searching for but don't yet find. So you create content that covers all these most important topics, but you take a unique angle focusing on the stuff that people also think about, so they will be relevant to their needs, but maybe they're not catered to in the current informational context that you're dealing with. So if you're interested to learn how it works, keep watching and I will demonstrate step by step. First, you go to the app section of InfraNodus and then you click Promote Market Research and SEO Analysis, and then you type in the search query you're interested in. For example, in my case, it's going to be SEO graphs. You can also type a few search queries, comma separated. And then you click on the Search Intent tab, and here you choose the name of the graph. And you can choose whether it's in English and in the US. And what happens here is that InfraNodus imports the suggested search queries from Google. So you know when you type into Google and then it tells you that people who search for this also search for that. So it extracts around 200 of those. And then every word is a node, every co-occurrence is the connection. And then it builds a graph from that and applies network theory in order to identify what are the most relevant nodes, so they will be bigger on the graph, that shows you the patterns that people use most frequently to connect different topics together. And then the colors and the location in the graph identifies the clusters of ideas that people search for when they search for SEO graphs in this case. So for example, for my search query here, I understand that, okay, they search a lot for Google Keyword Planner, so that's a tool that they're interested in relation to SEO graphs, so that can be interesting insight for me if I want to create content on that topic. And also PyTrend, so that's a more technical one as well, and that's also an interesting insight to me because, for instance, it means that maybe I could make my content a bit more technical as I see there's interest to those stuff. And by the way, as you can see, the actual search query is deleted, so you can get it back in the graph and see how it looks like, but we like to remove it automatically because you want to see the context around this search query and understand a little bit better what people search for. You also have stuff like, for instance, here, a generator, and you can click on the node and see in which context it's used. So for example, Google Keyword Generator is another one. So for instance, if I make content where I want to attract audience that is searching for SEO graphs, I could also make a page how you can build a graph based on Google Keyword Generator words, for example. So that would be another insight that you can get, and you can really analyze this graph in several iterations and find a lot of insights this way. Then the next step that you do is to build a graph of the current search results for this query. So then you go to Promote Market Research and then you type in the same search query or search queries, comma separated, SEO graphs, and then click on Google search results here and give a new name to this graph. Click Visualize, and what happens here is that InfraNodus extracts the top 40 search results from Google on this topic. It already removed the words from the graph, so you see them here. If they were in the graph, you see they would take too much attention, so this is why they automatically are removed, because you want to see the context around this. And then if you turn on the topic view, then you can see what people are actually talking about when they publish content on SEO graphs. So they talk about knowledge strategy, structured data, journalism quality, and page optimization. So if you create content in relation to SEO graphs, you need to make sure that you cover these topics. And by the way, all of these insights, you can save them into project notes. You can click here, Save to Notes, and they will be saved. And then you can even auto-generate like a report, and then you can plug it into your favorite LLM if you want to create content automatically based on these results, right? So this would be the second stage. You analyze the current search results, okay? And then the final step is that you overlap the two graphs. So here you have Compare to View, and then you want to see how it differs from the keywords graph. So I select here differs from keywords graph, click Visualize, and here I get help. I can see that, okay, what is in the keywords, so what people search for, but not in Google search results so much. And I have to note here, it's not the actual words that are not in the search results, because of course you will have Google Keyword Planner in search results, but it's the connections, the relations that we're showing here that people use when they search for SEO graphs, but they don't really readily find in search results. So here it tells me, okay, you should really focus on Google Keyword Planner, because that's something that people search for in relation to SEO graphs, but they don't really easily find it on Google. So that would be my way to identify the unique angle I should take. So I would cover all the topics I have in the Google search results graph to have topical authority, but I would focus specifically on Google Keyword Planner in order to make sure that I can get the best results possible. So that would be the workflow and the approach that you can use. As I said, you can save all the insights into your project notes here. You can open it here. And if you find using the graph too difficult, you can also connect to our MCP server and then use it inside your favorite LLM like ChatGPT or Claude. You would basically type in the search queries you want to analyze and tell it to run the same analysis. Tell me the search intent, tell me what people actually find, compare the two, and then get the same insights. I'm going to record another video where I talk about this. So subscribe that you can get informed when it's out. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, let me know in the comments to this video below. Thank you.